1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
For the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley show conversation with James Farr. James said something that caught me off guard. Black Altadena is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Tavis Smiley, and we are jamming, trying to get through this 3-hour show, squeezing an 80-pound show into a 40-pound bag. And we've made it to the last hour. In this hour, 2 amazing conversations on the B-side. Noted author Diane McKinney-Whetstone on her new book. It's called Family Spirit, a novel. It publishes today. It's out today. So how fortunate are we to have a conversation with Diane on the backside of this hour. We commence this hour, though, with renowned doula and founder of Mama Glow, Latham Thomas, who's going to take us inside her new audiobook. It's called Peaceful Parenting, Mindful Meditations for Pregnancy, Parenthood, and Promoting Harmony at Home. Latham, good to have you on the program. How are you today?
I'm so well, Tavis. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
I am doing well. If I complained, I'd be an ingrate, and I'm just honored to be in conversation with you. I just said a moment ago, and I repeat again, this audience knows this, that I'm always thrilled to learn the backstory. And when it comes to what you do as a doula, I'm even more interested. Tell me about your backstory, how this came to be your vocation, your calling.
Thank you so much for that question. And I love that you called it a calling, because that's exactly what it is and how I consider it. I've been in women's health for over 20 years, and my interest and really the springboard for this work started when my mother was pregnant. She was pregnant with my sister. I was 4 years old. My aunt and my great aunt were pregnant at the same time. And so as a 4-year-old, I was fascinated by pregnancy. And fast forward to when I was pregnant with my son, and he's 22 years old. And in the time that I was pregnant with him, I really wanted to have like a holistic experience. I wanted to have an experience where I was with midwives. And so I sought to have that birth outcome. And it was beautiful. I birthed in New York City in a birth center. And from that moment, after my birth, I remember 20 minutes afterwards, I said, nobody said it would be like this. It was transcendent. It was beautiful. It was joyful. I felt supported by community. And I knew that I had to bring this gift to others. I knew I had to show up in this capacity. And so that's when I stepped into the path of doula work and birth work, which is really, work that our people have been doing ancestrally since since the beginning of time. Yeah. And so I just feel honored to be in this path as well. And, through Mama Glow, we've trained over 3,000 doulas globally since 2018. It's been a pleasure and honor to be of service, to women and families as they navigate this journey into parenthood.
Let me go back to what you said a moment ago. And there were a number of words you used. The one that jumped out at me was joyful, of course. But tell me more about what made that experience of birthing for you in that particular space such a joyful experience because, as you well know, so many black women don't have anything but a joyful experience when they step inside of a hospital these days.
Yes, and I thank you for pointing that out, because so many of our sisters today have this underlying fear of harm, of birth going wrong. And we know that white women don't go to bed thinking about whether they're going to die in childbirth, right? And so I had the distinct honor of delivering in a space where midwives carried this tradition that was really ancestral forth through their practices. The way that I was delivering in the birth center, I should say, the way that they carried out the protocol and the care that they offered really centered the patient. And so the midwifery model centers the individual and the family first, right? Over the needs of the practitioner, right? And so you're not centering the doctor and the doctor's preferences or needs, but you're preferencing and privileging the patient. And so I felt very supported in that environment. When I would go to my appointments, for instance, they would have you take your records and you would be able to look at them from behind the console. I remember they would also allow you to take your own weight and measurements so that you could understand the process of growth that was happening for you. And you would write that in your chart. And so there was a lot of agency in the process. But the birth process in particular was really transformative, Tavis. And let me tell you why. When I went in to deliver my son, I remember it was a full moon and a double rainbow. It was a beautiful day. It was a Sunday. And I remember going in and feeling not only the support of the community, but I had my own family and friends around. And that environment is what it's supposed to be like, right? Where you have the communal setting where you feel safety. And one of the key components of being able to deliver is safety and dignity and community belonging. And what is being denied our people when they move into clinical settings often is this safety and this sense of dignity and communal support, right? And so having that experience allowed it to be transcendent. I had this visit from my ancestors. I felt this transcendence. I can't describe it any other way except for that it felt like I was out of my body. And it was a blessing and it was transformative. And I come to know now the neurochemicals involved in that process and how it could play out the way it did. But at the time, as a person who's experiencing this, it feels like you're holding hands with God, you know, and that's what is really our birthright. Yeah. And so for me, that's what I intend to do with families is support them, hold their hands as they take this journey and ensure that it's the most blissful possible, the blessed possible, and also that they feel fortified and empowered in the journey. That is what Black women need, especially at this time.
Yeah. The answer may be safety, dignity, and communal support, the trifecta that Latham Thomas just laid out for us. That may be the answer, but here's the question, which I will pose more directly when we come forward with Latham Thomas. Her new book is called Peaceful Parenting, Mindful Meditations for Pregnancy, New Parenthood, and Promoting Harmony at Home. Maternal death rates, maternal deaths have dropped all across this country except for Black women. Maternal deaths have dropped except for Black women. Here's the reality. The pregnancy-related death rate for Black women is more than three times the rate for mothers of other racial and ethnic groups. Why? We'll put that to Latham when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
You gotta dip your chicken strips. Hey, this is Kiani.
And this is Tabitha.
And a little thing we love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips
is all the different sauces we can dip them in. I like to line up all my favorite sauces so that in every bite, I have a different flavor. Then with the tenderness of the chicken, the juiciness of it, it's all there.
And for me, I like to mix my sauces so I get a little tang and I get a little sweetness all in one bite.
That's what makes it for me. Like, that's what does it for me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Make a move into a home of your own with City National National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Some things can steal your sunshine.
Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
There's one question every couple needs to answer. What if something happens to us? Kids, a house, a life you've built, but no estate plan? That's a risk you don't want to take. With Trust and Will, it's fast, secure, and easy to protect what matters most. Start your plan today at trustandwill.com. Use code RADIO to save 20%. Check it off your list. One less thing to worry about. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Latham Thomas, founder of Mama Glow. The new book is called Peaceful Parenting, Mindful Meditations for Pregnancy, New Parenthood, and Promoting Harmony at Home. Here's the question. Maternal deaths have dropped for everybody except black women. The pregnancy-related death rate for black women is more than 3 times the rate for mothers of other racial and ethnic groups. Why, Latham?
Thank you for that question. This is something that we work to eradicate every day in our work at Mama Glow. A couple of factors, and I'd like to pose first that in addition to not seeing a drop in maternal deaths in our community, we've seen an increase in the past 25 years, but also we haven't seen the rates change really since the Civil War. And I think that's really important to lay out for people because we are talking about a nation that's had so many advances in other areas. And yet this is an area for Black women that we have allowed to remain the same in healthcare for hundreds of years. And so a couple things to note, implicit bias and racism in healthcare among providers and within systems, right? This is something that Black women often speak about, mistreatment, feeling dismissed or coerced into certain procedures or treatments, feeling unheard, the perception of being impervious to pain. These are all experiences that lead to being underdiagnosed, misdiagnosed, or miscared for. And oftentimes when we are underdiagnosed, there are issues that could be treated that become lethal when not treated. And so this is critical when we think about our experiences within the care system. Also, when we talk about things like social determinants of health, which are the non-medical factors that impact how we experience health, right? Mm-hmm. And so that means things like social status, where you live, your housing situation, your job, and factors like this are important, but also environmental factors, right? Where you live may really impact the type of air quality, food quality, and quality of life that you might have, right? Pollution, unsafe neighborhoods, and things like this can also contribute to stress factors and chronic stress with a cumulative impact of systemic racism. And if you top onto that, socioeconomic stress, right? This can also lead to poor health outcomes. And so I think one thing that we have learned in recent years has been talked about more and more is weathering. And this is the idea that more exposure to systemic racism and social factors that impact our health, the longer that you live, the more exposure you have, the more weathered you become. And so that means that if you have someone who's like maybe in their 20s and they have a child, they have better chances for a better birth outcome. But when you have women, and when we look at Black women specifically, and we look at Black women in their 30s and 40s, who are generally highly educated, because as we know, Black women are the highest educated group in the United States. People who have people who have multiple degrees, right, are the ones who are most vulnerable. But the most educated, the most vulnerable. And this is partly because of the and I should say this, that our social status and economic status are not factors that protect you from maternal death, right? And so access to care should be one of the critical factors, but in fact, most people do have access to care that are dying, right? And so the main thing that we like to stress for people to really understand is that systemic racism is embedded in our systems and impacts maternal health tremendously. And we have tangible data that says this. And so what we need to be doing is developing systems and not only collecting data, but actually doing something with that data that tells us that this hospital is underperforming, mothers are dying here. What are we going to do about it? What does accountability look like within healthcare? What does it look like to develop trainings around and programs and health equity tracks that look at systemic bias within healthcare? What is it? All these are factors that we have to be thinking about. So I think that the main things that we also need to, I guess, stress here too is culturally competent care is really important. And this is having someone who looks like you, who has a similar background as you, as a provider is also helpful, especially for Black women who are terrified to go and, work with doctors that may not look like them. And so these factors, the cultural, systemic, and social, really impact our healthcare outcomes. And particularly when we talk about Black women, this is something that is really a state of emergency, right? And if it were any other group, we would be fighting to protect them. We'd be fighting to change this. But because it's Black women, and we're sort of the canaries in the mine, it feels like nothing's happening, although so many people are working tirelessly, so many organizations and folks who are working to improve these outcomes exist. It is obviously on the federal agenda, but it takes a lot of work and it takes commitment to really address it.
You said a mouthful there. I didn't want to interrupt. In case you've just tuned in, our guest is Latham Thomas. She is, of course, the world-renowned doula and founder of Mama Glow, having trained thousands of other doulas. We'll get to that a little bit later in this conversation. Taking us inside her new audiobook. It's called Peaceful Parenting, Mindful Meditations for Pregnancy, Parenthood, and Promoting Harmony at Home. Before I get to the text, the audiobook, you said something a moment ago that just jumped out at me. Two things. One, that these numbers have not really changed since the Civil War. That's a damning indictment to begin with. And then the other alarming indictment was that those who have access to health care are the ones who are dying. So your class and privilege doesn't help you. That was scary to hear, but that's the kind of truth that we need to hear right about now. Then you mentioned that this issue is on the federal agenda, and I'm glad you went there because I want to go there now. I've been reading a lot lately about public health researchers who are, speaking of alarmed and concerned at these attempts, these efforts by the Trump administration. Not trying to make you political, but since you mentioned federal agenda, let me go there. The Trump administration, as we all know, is dismantling all kinds of DE&I initiatives, and there are folk, again, in the public health space who fear that what they are doing, the Trump people, will thwart efforts to reduce the outsized mortality rate for black mothers in the U.S. So if you take the concern of these people, these experts in the public health space, they think it's going to get far worse before it gets better, Latham, even though, to your point, it is on the federal agenda, just not in the way you or I want it to be there right now.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And it is political. Birth is political, right? It always has been political. And when we're talking about Black bodies, Blackness is political, right? And so, you know, when we have this conversation about the what the Trump administration is unraveling, not only are they reallocating and siphoning health funding that is critical for research that's groundbreaking, that allows us to make headway in improving care outcomes. I mean, for instance, we hold an NIH grant with Northwell Health, which is a major healthcare institution here in New York City. And that work allows us to train nurses in our methodology, our doula training actually at Mama Glow, and to study it to see how nurses can bring this work of doula care into the clinical setting and to improve healthcare outcomes. We have a HRSA grant with Montefiore Medical Center and Bronx Health Collective that looks at trauma-informed care and its impact on communities who've experienced trauma in the South Bronx, and what it looks like to have doulas implementing care with along the perinatal continuum with those communities. And so this kind of research that we're able to do, funded by the federal government under the Biden administration, allows us to make critical advances, but also findings that will help us improve care outcomes and also implement, right, new systems. And so when we have administration that does not have, that essentially axes out and gets rid of all of the experts, the scientists, right, the technologists, gets rid of people who understand how to, conduct research, and cuts funding to major universities, because I don't think people also realize this, is that it's universities, the money that they're taking from universities allows them to do groundbreaking research, right? It's not what they think it's for. It's actually for research, right? So that is something that also will impact what happens in terms of care outcomes, when we're looking at maternal health specifically, but anything on the reproductive continuum will be impacted, right? And so I agree that this draconian methodology and this sort of this very elementary way of looking at the systems as if they're not complex and breaking things without understanding how they function is going to definitely lead to things getting worse before they get better. One thing that I will say, though, regardless of who's in the White House, this work never ends, and this work doesn't change for the people who have been doing it. So the folks who are on the ground and in community, who have been coalition building, who are working often in silos, but also working across, sectors, those folks are going to keep us alive, right? And so it is important to also realize that even though we see this unraveling at the federal level, most of what is happening in terms of the actual implementation is happening at a community level, right? It's happening at a local, state level. And so we can, in some cases, not all, but in some cases, I think we can breathe a little bit and know that if we are living in a state that does prioritize maternal health, that will not really change, right? And so, but to your point, the tenor and the temper here in the United States is one that's hostile towards Black people. It is hostile towards immigrants. It is hostile towards people who are not white heterosexual males, right? And so we know that we're not safe here. And so we have to operate as if we are, not safe, which means that we have to find and develop systems that work for us. And how I think about it often, Tavis, is that we have a responsibility as a community to reimagine our own systems develop and think through. I'd like to think about a couple of our amazing literary ancestors like Audre Lorde and Octavia Butler, who give us this framework, right, of futurism and a framework of liberation as a people to look towards and to model and use as the building blocks for our frameworks. And so for me, that's what's important, for us to not feel like sad or I mean, because you can feel sad, right? But you also can feel incapacitated by your sadness. Oh, no. And I want people to actually feel like they can do something with this information and take action, because our community is in a space where we need to rest and also take action. It's like this balance of both of those things to keep us alive and keep us thriving as a community.
I got a tight 3 minutes, Latham. Literally, just 3 minutes left here. And I want to ask 2 questions in 3 minutes. So let's see if we can do this together right quick. First, all these thousands of doulas that you've trained who are doing this work, never mind what's happening at the federal level. Give me a quick profile of the kind of person that becomes a doula.
Yes, a doula is just someone who cares for others. It's it's your grandmother, it's your auntie, it's someone who's a pillar in community and a person who loves to give. Right? These are people who can anticipate your needs and support you. And for those who don't know what a doula is, it is a non-clinical care provider that offers emotional support, physical support, education, advocacy tools, and partner support if you have a partner present. But they're here to help you advocate and use your voice to help you advocate for the birth that you want and the care that you desire. And
my extra question is this. I could have played some audio. I thought to do that, but I said, why play audio when Latham is here live with me? So just say a quick word in 2 minutes about Peaceful Parenting, the new book.
Yes. I'm so excited to be here with you today to talk about Peaceful Parenting. It is a meditation audio program. When I am not speaking like this with Tavis, I have a pillow voice, y'all, and it's more relaxing. Okay, I'm not up on your level because you got the right voice for this. Okay, but I'm getting close, right? And so it is a program that allows you as parents, whether you're on the fertility period, pregnancy, or the postpartum side, or if you're like me and your children are grown and out of the nest, it is a resource for you to tap into to maintain well-being. And I know that people are so stressed right now, and this is my gift to parents to help them live with ease on a daily basis and pour into themselves. This is really like about taking time for a little bit of self-care every day.
Yeah. She has done some amazing work for years now. World-renowned doula, founder of Mama Glow. Somebody once said that every race of people ought to be judged by the best they've been able to produce and not by the worst. And Latham Thomas is among the best that we have produced, and she is paying it forward. She's the founder, as I said, of Mama Glow. Her new book is called Peaceful Parenting, Mindful Meditations for Pregnancy, New Parenthood, and Promoting Harmony at Home. Check out the audiobook, and you will love her voice on the audiobook. Latham, good to have you on. That wasn't really a Latham impersonation, but I was just trying to bring
that was good though.
No, I was just trying to bring the volume down a little bit. That's all. Latham, good to have you on. Congrats on your working witness. We'll talk again, I hope.
I appreciate you so much, and thank you for the pleasure and honor to be here.
I appreciate you more, and for the honor of having you on this program. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Immigrant rights advocates in Los Angeles are staging a day-long community stoppage, boycotting stores like Walmart and Target to protest ICE activity. The Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights Los Angeles Communications Director, Jorge Mario Cabrera.
They know better. They know that this is a very peaceful activity, that this is within our rights.
Cabrera says the action highlights immigrants' economic power. A judge overturned the convictions of the Winston-Salem Five for the murder of NBA star Chris Paul's grandfather, Nathaniel Jones. But 2 men, Rayshawn Banner and Nathaniel Cawthon, remain jailed as the DA appeals. And MC Hammer is being sued by JP Morgan Chase over a defaulted auto loan on a 2023 Land Rover. The bank claims he owes over $76,000 and won't return the vehicle. They are seeking repossession, repayment, and legal costs for breach of contract. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Buy more, save more at Scandinavian Designs Furniture. For a limited time, save $200 instantly for every $800 you spend in store. Complete your look for less or splurge on something you love. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at ScandinavianDesigns.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Angels opened their 3-game series against the Dodgers Monday night with a 7-4 win in Anaheim. The Angels are 4-0 against the Dodgers this season. Things are not going well for the Dodgers. Their 12-19 slump since July 4th is starting to catch up to them. Monday night's loss dropped the Dodgers' lead over San Diego to 1 game in the NL West Division. On July 2nd, San Diego was 8.5 games behind the Dodgers. Rams head coach Sean McVay is not sure when quarterback Matthew Stafford will be able to practice with the team. McVay also is not sure if Stafford will be ready for the Rams season opener September 7th against Houston. It appears the alarm has finally sounded at Rams headquarters about Stafford's health. The 37-year-old Stafford has been diagnosed with an aggravated disc in his lower back. Stafford was supposed to make his practice debut on Monday but did not feel right. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., inviting you to join me weekdays at 12 noon right after Tavis Smiley here on KBLA Talk 1580. As a law school graduate and a theologian with a firm grasp of our body politic given almost 2 decades in Congress, my show is the fresh new home of an authentic, uncompromised quest for transformation and salvation, both personal and collectively, as I vigorously interrogate the theological and symbolic meanings embedded in our society. I promise to leverage my knowledge of history, theology, and both international and domestic issues to imagine an inclusive vision for the future, which I hope will inspire all of us to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a given, not just an aspiration. So join me weekdays at 12 noon right after Tavis Smiley for 2 hours of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show only on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Made fresh daily in Leimert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley
You are indeed. I'm glad to have you with us in this last half hour of our program today. I celebrate this last half hour and our guest primarily because I first connected with her when I was at BET. Y'all know that was back in 1996 when I started on BET, and I've been blessed to do so much work since then on TV and radio, and I haven't talked to her in a long time, but I've been watching her from afar and seeing that as I've continued my work and witness, she has continued her brilliant writing, and so it's been a long time since I talked to her, but I'm honored to have her on this program to celebrate Family Spirit, a novel. It is the latest by Diane McKinney-Whetstone. Diane, you've done it again. Congratulations. How are you?
Tavis, it is so wonderful to be with you. Thank you so much. Yes, I remember 1996 very well. That's the year my first novel came out. And I remember connecting with you. Oh, my goodness.
No.
That's going way back.
No, the time
Someone
flies.
telling their age, not me.
I would dare not do that. Not that I know it anyway. I just know that like wine, you're getting better with time, and your stuff is still working and still selling. No, but I mean that sincerely though. I'm rooting for everybody black, as somebody once said. And even when I don't get a chance to talk to people as often as I like, I see what they're doing. I celebrate their climb. I celebrate their lift, their elevation. And you've been writing so many great novels for so many years. I'm just honored to be connected with you once again as we talk about Family Spirit, a novel. Now, as is always the case when I talk to novelists, I try to stand down, because the thing with novels is you don't want to give too much away, but you want to share the story so folk will want to read the book. And that's why I just shut up and say, okay, Diane, it's all you. Tell me about Family Spirit, a novel.
Oh, I sure will. Family Spirit is, all of my novels are set in Philadelphia. Family Spirit is as well. And it is about a family of Philadelphia clairvoyants, and with issues, of course, as if being clairvoyant isn't enough of an issue.
Exactly, yeah.
And they believe that they are gifted, that at least one child in every generation has inherited this gift to see into the future. They call it the knowing. And the novel centers around two of the daughters. They're women who inherit this knowing, and one has violated a family oath and has been banished from the family. And the other, a young woman trying to finish college, trying to get it together, has also the gift, but her mother, who is married into the family, doesn't want her to express it. And so she hides it. She hides it from her mother. She hides it from the family of women, the Mace family, who all have this gift. And she's tormented by hiding it because still she sees things and has to keep it to herself. So that's the basic premise of the novel. I mean, it's about inheritance. It's about gifts and being gifted, but then the burden of being gifted and not wanting to carry on or express the gift. It's about family betrayal and then family coming back together. And it's really about the spirit of family. I mean, even though these people are clairvoyant, they are still what we think of as this strong Black family. And so, I mean, all of that came out in the writing. Much of it I didn't know was going to come out, but that's how I write. Yes.
Why clairvoyance for you? We'll come to the Philadelphia thing in just a second. I love that about you, and I've always celebrated. I've got a bunch of friends who I've talked to over the years, of course, who situate their work in certain cities. Everybody knows that Spike Lee is down with New York City. If you read Walter Mosley, he's down with Los Angeles. Diane McKinney-Whetstone is down with Philadelphia. We'll get to that part in a second here. But for this particular novel, what was it in advance of the writing that got you turned on by the notion of writing about clairvoyance?
I think, I've just been thinking about legacy and ancestors and what people pass down. And I've been thinking a lot about my grandmother, who was not, I mean, I wouldn't say that she was clairvoyant per se, but she just knew a lot. She knew things.
Hey, Diane, I think all big mamas are clairvoyant at some level.
They are, right? They know what you're getting ready to do. That's
exactly.
for sure. For sure. Yeah. And so I was thinking about her and just thinking about intuition and how, I just feel more intuitive now than I was in my youth. And I've been wondering about that. And so I like to write about things that I'm not sure about, just because I discover and I learn. And as what happened when I started exploring this whole notion of clairvoyance and what does that mean and what does that do to a person and how does it inform their life and do we all have like more abilities than we access? I mean, just like, these Mace women can kind of see into the future. They have these very organized rituals, but when you get the sense that something's going to happen, I mean, we all do, and then it
Oh yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's more of that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. So that's why I wrote the novel, just to discover it and explore it and try to figure things out.
Yeah. For those who have never heard you share or explain why everything is always rooted in Philadelphia, here's your chance.
You know why? Because
I know why.
Philly,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Number one is home.
Yeah.
I know Philly, and I have to start, since I don't know the story. I need to start with something that I do know, and that is the city of Philadelphia. It's also like this place of tremendous contraries. There's a lot of old money in Philly, but
Mm-hmm.
then there's a lot of entrenched poverty. It's a place of vibrant neighborhoods and neighborhoods that each have their own definition and their own personality. It's a place of commerce. It's a place that purports to be a world city, even though it can have a very provincial feel. And it is like that. It's like that very flawed relative that you just love and you'll never leave. And
Yeah.
because you love them, and they have their blemishes and all of that, but that's Philly.
Yeah.
It's home. It's home, and that's where my soul is. This is where my soul is.
When you
Yes.
when you mentioned that it is a city of great wealth and poverty, my mind went to the movie Trading Places, which I just saw again the other night for the
Yes.
umpteenth time with Eddie Murphy.
Yes. Yes.
That you think about Trading Places, you get the frame that Diane is putting you in about what all exists in that one city, and we've all,
Absolutely.
of course, seen the movie Trading Places with Eddie and Dan Aykroyd, great,
Absolutely.
great, and Jamie Lee Curtis for that matter, great cast. So
Yes.
I'm always fascinated. I mean, as you know, I'm a writer as well. I've written
I
what,
know.
a bunch of books, 23, 24, something like that. But the point is that all of my books, I have not been bold enough to try the fiction thing. All of my books have been nonfiction, primarily because, unlike Diane McKinney-Whetstone, when I sit down, I got to know what I'm writing about. I got to know. I have to know what the story is. And I'm always fascinated, and this is why I love, 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 love fiction writers. Not always the easiest person to interview because you don't want to give the book away, as I said. But I love fiction writers. I have great respect for them because you start with nothing and you create this book I'm holding in my hand, Family Spirit. You create this out of nothing. And to your point, oftentimes when you start writing, you don't know where the story is going to take you. How do you write anything when you don't know where the story is going to take you, Diane?
That is that that's the mystery. And I guess I don't want to like fully figure it out because then it might leave the ability might leave. But
Yeah.
it is a fact that I don't know. And so I'll start with the sense of place. I'll start with the sounds and the eccentricities of Philadelphia. And from there the characters just spring into life. And then they actually move me through the story. I don't know, and I prefer to use my imagination
Mm.
and then like just move the facts out of the way, because the facts, sometimes they get in the way. It's like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I don't want this to be so because I need this to be this way, and but I move the facts out of the way and use my imagination.
Yeah.
And I am often amazed once I sit down and actually do the research because it still has to have its internal logic and be rooted in fact.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at how close the imagination can get.
Mm.
And that's, when I was teaching, I would tell my students that, the maxim, write what you know, is very limiting. Instead, write what you can imagine, because really you don't
Mm.
know what you know
Right.
until you explore it and then discover it and then know it.
Yeah.
That's just how that's been my process.
Yeah.
And
That is
just
no.
yeah, you may be intimidated by not knowing. I'm intimidated by the facts, like having this whole set of things that are real and concrete and
Yeah.
indisputable, and like writing around it. So I have
Yeah.
a sister who's a journalist, and it's like It amazes me.
No,
Yes.
Diane and I are clearly intimidated by different things because she's intimidated by the facts. I'm intimidated by making it up. But I asked a question and she gives a random answer. Maybe random is not the right word, but the answer that she just gave for all of you listening across the country right now who have ideas and notions of being a fiction writer, that is the best advice you will ever get. That you should use your imagination, get the facts out of the way. Maybe you shouldn't be writing about what you know, but what you can imagine. That's great advice for all you would-be fiction writers. From the author of the new book, Family Spirit, a novel, Diane McKinney-Whetstone, who's our guest right now on Tavis, Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has work source centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Diane McKinney-Whetstone, whose new book is called Family Spirit, a novel. It is out today, and I'm grateful to Diane after all these years and our very first conversation back in 1996. Delighted to be connected with her, reconnected once again, and to be so honored as to have her on this program on the day the book is published. So today is publication day for Family Spirit, a novel by Diane McKinney-Whetstone, and for that, we say thank you and congratulations to Diane. Diane, you've done this so many times. What does Pub Day feel like all these books later?
All these books later, it still feels the same. It is, it is that sense of, the sense I had with the first book that, oh my goodness, it's out there, it's in the world. This is it. I mean, it's a tremendous sense of relief. It's exhilarating. It's all of that. I mean, just all the feelings, and it doesn't get old.
Yeah.
With each novel, Pub Day it just feels special.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We were talking earlier about imagination. I want to just pivot ever so gently because you referenced this earlier, and I want to circle back to it. And I'm asking you a personal question. I'm asking this question of Diane McKinney-Whetstone, not of the characters in the book that is about notions of clairvoyance. But what have you learned over all these years and all these years of writing these best-selling novels about what it means to tap into and to trust your own spirit?
That is what I've learned, to trust my own spirit. When I initially started, I thought that I needed a roadmap. I thought that I needed to understand what the ending would be, that I need to know the characters intimately, and that's just not how it works for me. That's not how life works. And so what I've learned is to take a step at a time, a step at a time, a step at a time, and then I'll get there. Like, not to try to see the ending or know the ending or predict what it will be, or to try to write what I think that I know, because I don't know what I know. Each novel, I learned so much about human nature, but also about myself, because when I'm writing, I'm interacting with the characters, I'm interacting with what's going on, I'm interacting at an emotional level, but also at a spiritual level.
Yeah.
And I'm always learning. And that really that's one of for me, the gift of writing is to be able to do that. And so that's what I've learned, just to trust that I'll get there, number one, because there are points when I'm in the middle of the novel and it's all over the place, and I have this sense is no way I'm getting through this to the end. It's chaotic. It's like it's a storm. It's a tornado. But then I trust that I will pull together the pieces, and that the story ultimately will come together. I believe that the story kind of knows what it's about, but it's up to me as the author and the creator to discover it and then to render it. And so I stay with that, and I just take one step at a time, without trying to rush it or without trying to know something before it's knowable.
So many.
It's taught me patience.
No, I was going to say so many critically acclaimed novels: Our Gin, Tumbling, Lazaretto, Tempest Rising, Blues Dancing, Leaving Cecil Street, Trading Dreams at Midnight. And the new one is called Family Spirit, a novel. Our remaining moments with Diane McKinney-Whetstone when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Hey, bills happen. So when you need extra cash fast, go to billshappen.com. Have you been turned down? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? Go to billshappen.com. All you need is a job and a checking account. You can find a lender and get up to $5,000 cash as early as tomorrow at billshappen.com. BillsHappen.com is the smart way to get a personal lender now. So if you need extra money for car repairs, medical bills, family emergencies, whatever you need cash for, go to BillsHappen.com and you can get the money you need as soon as the next day, up to $5,000. At BillsHappen.com, our process is safe, secure, and all online. No one to deal with in person, and Bills Happen does not charge you any fees to use our service. It's easy. When you need a lender, just remember, when bills happen, go to BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com for the cash you need now. BillsHappen.com.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed for the next 3 minutes, which is all I have left, to talk to Diane McKinney-Whetstone about her new book out today. It's called Family Spirit, a novel, and she has done it once again. All kinds of praise for this book again, which publishes today. It's called Family Spirit, a novel, and I'm delighted for the better part of this half hour in conversation with Diane McKinney-Whetstone. Let me close with this. All your readers know and celebrate this, how do I phrase this? This unique, iconic, trademark way of writing with such poetic prose. Every writer has a different style of writing, but I would just call yours poetic prose. Where'd that come from, Diane?
I don't know. I always wanted to sing, and I have no voice whatsoever. And so I think it just comes out in my writing that I hear it. I hear a beat. I hear a rhythm. And when I write, I just follow whatever it is in that moment. And the words just, they come together, and I'll work a sentence until it does what I feel it needs to do. So I think it's, it takes time, and I work really hard and edit, and then I think God comes in there and helps me fashion it the way it should be.
Well, you got the gift that he gave to you, and you are using it. And as I said at the top of this conversation, she's done it once again. It's called Family Spirit, a novel. We were laughing earlier about the things that we don't have in common. I'm a lover of facts. That's why I do nonfiction. I got to have something to start with. Diane is afraid of facts. She wants a blank page and just to use her imagination. So we are not simpatico in that regard, but we do agree on this. Right. I wanted to sing as well. Now, I can carry a tune. Unlike Diane, I can actually carry a tune. And I was choir director at my church for years, and played a couple instruments, a little piano, a little saxophone. So I am musically inclined on some level, but I'm like Diane. If I could sing, Diane, you couldn't tell me nothing. Let me just tell you right now. If I could sing, you couldn't tell me nothing.
Oh my goodness! Yes, absolutely. Me as well, Tavis. Me as well.
No, we agree in that regard. Again, it's called Family Spirit, a novel by Diane McKinney-Whetstone, who I've been honored to have on this show this day, because today is publication day for Family Spirit, a novel. Pick it up wherever fine books are sold. Diane, good to hear your voice once again. All the best to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow, Lord willing, to do it all over again. Until tomorrow, thanks for tuning in to Tavis Smiley. And as always, keep the faith.